There was an odd silence in the home. The winter sun in Flagstaff had just begun to rise, creating lengthy shadows that could be seen through Robyn Brown's kitchen's partially drawn curtains. For Kody Brown, the great patriarch of a polygamous empire, the house had once represented victory, but now it seemed more like a mausoleum. Kody's face was scruffy and unshaven as he sat at the breakfast bar, bent over a pile of manila papers. The knot of his trademark curls was at the back of his neck. He reached for his tea, which had long since gone cold, and his hand shook a little. He was surrounded by papers that looked like the devastation left by a financial hurricane. Bank notices, tax liens, property transfers, and a Reading foreclosure warning. One document in particular caught his attention. Robyn A. Brown was the familiar name on it, followed by a slew of legalese that transferred ownership of their shared Flagstaff residence into an LLC that was registered under a trust. One he was unaware of. One that she kept hidden from him. The title no longer included his name. Not a warning. No talking. His pulse pounded hollowly, louder than the wind outside. Kody's mouth clenched. His cell rang. An electronic mail. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. You should see what she's done is the subject line. The sender was anonymous. However, screenshots were sent. Statements of finances. Banking operations. An LLC application with Dayton's name on it. Confirmation of a $250,000 wire transfer to an unidentified account is another document. They promised the children would receive the joint mortgage fund, which is where the money was taken from. Kody reclined on the chair as if he had lost his breath. A nausea twisted in his stomach. Disbelief clouded his view. Robyn. He had trusted no one else. The sole person who had remained. She had also deceived him. Across town, Gwendlyn Brown sat in front of a ring light and camera in a small two-bedroom apartment decorated with Polaroid pictures and covered in twinkle lights. Her fiancé gave her room by moving subtly in the background. She inhaled. Blinking on was the red recording light. There was steel beneath the initial trembling in her voice. She whispered, "I think the hardest part was pretending. Acting as though we were equal and content. Acting as though my father still loved us." She hesitated, gulping back years of quiet. On his birthday, I saw my brother Gabriel sob by himself in a bedroom. My dad ignored every message we sent, and I watched as my mom packed up our lives. Robyn, too, was constantly aware. She watched him leave the rest of us one by one, while she stood there. She kept her gaze fixed on the camera despite the burning in her eyes. I waited for a response from someone. For the truth to be spoken. However, they didn't. So I will. It was silent in Gabriel's flat. Outside, in the chilly dusk, a dog barked, but inside, nothing moved. With a microphone attached to his sweatshirt, he sat on his shabby couch, the cushions buckling under his weight. At first, he remained silent. He simply breathed softly while glancing down at his hands. Next, in a quiet voice, "I believed I was going to pass away." The words lingered in the atmosphere. When I contracted COVID, I felt frightened. I was by myself. I was having trouble breathing. I gave Dad a call. I pleaded with him to speak with me, to reassure me that everything would be all right. However, he never responded. He massaged his eyes, smearing them rather than wiping away the tears. 2 weeks later, he gave me a call. You know what he said too? "I shouldn't have been hanging out with my friends," he remarked. "I was disloyal," they said. "That Robyn's is where I should have been." That Robyn was able to get in touch with him. His voice broke down on that day. I came to realize my father was no longer with me. The lights in Robyn's home were soft and inviting that night. She was folding laundry in the kitchen, humming, when the door slammed open. Kody stomped on the tile with his boots. With his arms stuffed with papers, he stood in the living room, gasping for air. It was impossible to read his face until he opened his mouth. "Why?" Startled, Robyn turned. "Kody." He tossed the papers onto the table. "You moved the house. The money was taken by you. I wasn't involved when you formed an LLC. And you don't believe I'd find out?" Robyn's body tensed as her eyes grew wide. "I had to," she said in a whisper. "You were erratic. You didn't pay attention. You were alienating everyone." You betrayed me then. She claimed to have protected my children. Dayton, Aurora, Brianna. I kept them safe. Kody took a step forward. You misled me. No, she muttered. I no longer waited for you to take the lead. I began to live. He gazed at her. They had the impression that everything was fragile, like a reality that was about to burst. A special reunion on TLC was planned a few weeks later. In a neutral location in Utah, cameras rolled. The wives, Meri and Janelle, as well as a few grown children, Gabriel and Gwendlyn, assembled. Christine provided a prepared statement to be read aloud, even though she was unable to attend. Years of repressed anguish had weighed down the tense energy. The first to speak was Meri, wearing a dark green blouse and a lot of mascara. I believed that remaining strengthened me. I considered obedience to be sacred. However, I was simply deleting myself. I also allowed Leon, my child, to suffer in silence. Janelle trailed behind, her voice more stern. I stayed because I thought the idea was sound. Kody, however, didn't. His faith was his weapon. Instead of love, he desired loyalty. Then Gwendlyn spoke, her voice trembling with justified rage. When people saw us on TV, they assumed we were a single, contented family. In actuality, though, we were drowning. And only Robyn's children received lifeboats from Dad. He wanted loyalty more than he wanted connection, Gabriel remarked plainly. And he punished us when he didn't understand. Kody got a letter a week after the episode aired. Sister Wives was being cancelled by TLC. The ratings had fallen. There was growing public outrage. There were accusations coming forth. They pointed to irreconcilable differences between the moral standards of the production and the family. He silently gazed at the letter. He had lost his stardom. To those who had spoken, at least, he was no longer a father. He was simply by himself. Gwendlyn stood under the sparkling lights of her wedding reception a year later. In the company of mothers, friends, and siblings who had battled valiantly to establish their own voices, she placed her hand in her fiancé's. A toast was made by Janelle. In remembrance of their losses and their decisions to rebuild, Meri lit a candle. Gwendlyn's voice was loud, clear, and unflinching as she read her vows. Our home was built on stillness when we were growing up. Today, however, honesty is the foundation of my life. On decision. On the individuals who arrive. Kody wasn't invited. And he was sitting in a quiet room, watching an old Sister Wives episode on mute, far away from the lights and the laughter. And he understood that the cameras were never the issue for the first time in years. He was Dot and there's more. The Sister Wives Season 19 star Janelle Brown's new ideal life is finally coming together, but she suddenly encountered a big obstacle. Janelle recently celebrated her 56th birthday, marking the beginning of her journey toward the life she has always desired. Janelle was wed to polygamous patriarch Kody Brown until 2022. Kody was married to Meri Brown when she married him in 1993. He would wed Christine Brown a year after he married Janelle, and Robyn Brown 16 years later. When Kody was most polygamous, he had 18 children and 4 spouses. The Browns shared a residence when the unscripted series debuted in 2010. In Utah, they shared a multi-unit house that a fellow polygamist had designed. For them, it was ideal. Every wife had a separate apartment where she and her kids lived. Every day, Kody was able to see all of his wives and children. After the family relocated to 4 different homes after leaving Utah, everything changed. Janelle was one of Kody's 4 wives who had left the marriage by the time Sister Wives Season 19 debuted. Since then, she has begun constructing her dream life. Janelle was fond of polygamy, in contrast to Kody's other wives. She freely expressed her satisfaction that Kody wasn't present every night. She liked the liberty and self-reliance that the way of life provided. Janelle didn't want her husband to herself, but Christine left Kody because she detested having to share her husband. Janelle found Kody's disregard for their kids intolerable. Kody and Janelle has 6 kids together: Savannah Brown, Garrison, Gabriel, Hunter, Logan, and Maddie. All of the children were close to their father when they were growing up, but as they grew older, that changed. Kody began concentrating more on his younger kids, including those he had with Robyn, his 4th wife. The family became very resentful as a result, and Kody did a poor job of dealing with it. Things became more challenging after the family relocated to 4 different residences after leaving Utah. The COVID-19 epidemic exacerbated the already existing divides within the family. Kody stopped seeing Janelle's kids after they were unable to adhere to his stringent viral mitigation guidelines. When it came to Janelle, this was the final straw. The Sister Wives Season 19 star ended the marriage after he mistreated her kids. Janelle left being a single woman after 29 years of polygamy. Janelle was just one of many women who find it difficult to stay true to themselves while caring for their kids. Janelle put in a lot of effort over the years to support her entire multiple family, which was no small feat given the large number of mouths to feed. The Sister Wives Season 18 actress recognized her job and where she fit into the family, even though it wasn't easy. Following after her divorce, Janelle found herself alone and had to rediscover herself. Since her marriage to Kody was over and nothing was binding her to Arizona, she had to take stock of her life and find a new path. The Sister Wives Season 19 star decided to start a flower business because she loved gardening and wanted to pursue a new life as a flower farmer. In order to be close to her daughter Maddie Brush, her husband Caleb Brush, and their 3 kids, Janelle purchased property in North Carolina. In a recent Instagram post, Janelle revealed that her ideal life had encountered a roadblock. She was thrilled to be building her new house and launching her flower company. The video shows the Sister Wives Season 19 star in the backyard of her daughter Maddie. Her caption says, "I got a good bit of planning done in the backyard garden. As we await what appears to this is my gardening outlet, and it will take an eternity for the government agencies to cease being government agencies and get our permissions. It has been nearly 9 months, you guys." The Sister Wives star had already owned a sizable piece of land before her property in North Carolina. Janelle and Kody, along with his 3 previous wives, co-owned a sizable piece of land in Arizona until recently. They had intended to construct 4 different houses there, but the family disbanded before construction could begin. Kody bemoaned the death of his Camelot fantasies as he surveyed the landscape in an early Sister Wives Season 19 episode. The land at Coyote Pass became a symbol of the Brown family's breakup. A recent sale of the Coyote Pass property brought around $1.5 million. The Sun claims that the Browns purchased the property in 2018 for $820,000. Robyn, Mary, and Janelle will share the profits with Kody. Since Christine sold her land to Kody years ago, she will not receive any of the proceeds. Hopefully, Janelle's latest land acquisition will turn out better than the Sister Wives Season 19 star's last land purchase. David Woolley had a tragedy that nearly devastated his family long before he made an appearance on Sister Wives Season 19. When David began dating Christine Brown, he made his television debut. 52-year-old Christine was the 3rd wife of Kody Brown, a polygamous patriarch. Christine didn't like Kody. After 27 years of marriage, she left her several families in 2021. She met David right away when she began dating online. David had expressed his belief that Christine was deceiving him, but he was thrilled to find out that she was genuine. David and Christine fell in love right away. A portion of their romance was documented in Sister Wives Season 19. They began after a month of dating and a year of living together. They were looking at wedding venues. In 2023, they exchanged vows in front of their loved ones, and they have been living a happy life ever since. Despite his happiness with Christine, David had a previous marriage. Before he met Christine and made an appearance on Sister Wives Season 19, David had a very different life. For more than 2 decades, he was wed to Margaret Lucille Sulin Woolley. Together, they had 10 grandchildren and 8 children. Though he is at ease in the presence of a large family and has never practiced polygamy. Additionally, he has 2 sisters who are in polygamous marriages, so he is familiar with the way of life. Depression was a problem for David's first wife. He revealed to In Touch that his late wife was discovered dead in a hotel room with drink and medications all around her. There was no consolation in the note she had left for him and the kids. David was now a single parent to 8 children. While our sent Sister Wives Season 19 episode, a heartbreaking David thought of his late wife's passing. During a Sister Wives Season 19 confessional, David told the cameras, "My wife, the mother of my child, committed suicide. One of the hardest things I've ever done was to tell my kids that their mother wasn't coming home." He continued by saying that the thought that he had failed his kids was overwhelming him. "What has it been?" 14 years, and I still get emotional, he remarked, sobbing. He discussed how he had to fight the urge to hold himself responsible for not seeing the warning flags. Later on, David would become closer to Christine as a result of the tragedy in his life. It enabled him to comprehend the death of Garrison Brown, who was 25 years old. David understood what it was like to lose a loved one to depression. In season 19 of Sister Wives, David expressed his desire to support Christine. He even assisted her in planting a tree in their backyard dedicated to Garrison, so they would always feel his presence. Garrison was like a son to Christine, even if he wasn't her real son. It would take David 14 long years of loneliness before he met and married Christine. Like a bright light shining on the dark, the Sister Wives celebrity entered his life. Christine's enthusiasm for living life to the fullest immediately drew David in. He was at last prepared to let his heart open after spending so much time alone. Even though his wife was an unfathomable tragedy from which he might never fully recover, at least he had at last discovered true love and a way to happiness. More information about Robyn Brown has been made public in Sister Wives Season 19, and viewers have found it challenging to accept her lack of candor in the wake of Garrison Brown's death. The sole surviving wife of Kody Brown, the patriarch of the Brown family, Robyn, has been finding it difficult to accept what's occurred in the last several years of her life. She married Kody with the intention of staying married in several marriages for the rest of their lives. But when Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Mary Brown decided to divorce Kody, that changed. Robyn's chances to acknowledge her problems with Kody's previous marriages have increased as Sister Wives Season 19 has progressed. Instead of doing nothing but watching and supporting Kody while he dealt with his feelings of betrayal from his in contrast to other women, Robyn has been encouraging her husband to prioritize her and their kids while consciously letting him ignore his other children. Robyn is now lying to viewers during her confessional interview moments, since she has suffered a great deal of sorrow since Garrison's death. She appears to be a villain because of her dishonesty. Despite the difficult circumstances of Sister Wives Season 19, the Brown family has made a concerted effort to benefit society as a whole. They talk about their experiences as often as they can. Some topics are enjoyable to talk about or don't hurt anyone, but others can be challenging for the family to address or clarify on camera. Following the untimely death of their son Garrison, Kody and Janelle's family gathered to discuss his life and what this meant for their family going ahead. Regretfully, Robyn wasn't forthright and truthful with her experiences on the show. While Robyn's been a huge villain on Sister Wives for years, the most terrible parts of her experiences have likely been in the last stretch of time when Kody was going through his divorces and took his anger out on her. Robyn was making a concerted effort to distance Kody from his older children at those times, and Kody's relationships with his children were also suffering. Robyn has maintained that she has avoided her husband's desire for relationships with his children while being aware of everything. Although Robyn's role in Kody's distance is known to Sister Wives watchers, she declines to accept responsibility. The rest of the Brown family has long been open about their thoughts and feelings on their time on Sister Wives. However, Robyn has been reserving her truth. Although Mary, Janelle, and Christine might not have felt at ease disclosing their true selves at times, throughout Sister Wives' run, the person was removed and managed. Robyn has been upfront about some aspects of her life, but she isn't very transparent about how she talks to Kody, manipulates him, and persuades him to do what she wants rather than what's best for everyone. Robyn has repeatedly been found hiding details or refusing to discuss her involvement in the extensive family conflict over the show's run. As Robyn has, after persistently refusing to reveal her actual feelings, her public image has gotten worse than it has ever been during the most recent seasons of Sister Wives. Viewers of Sister Wives have enjoyed seeing Kody's ex-wives open up more about their emotions, relationships, and choices, but Robyn's transition through a challenging period has been challenging. Robyn has obviously been hiding information, even though she has been honest about several things, and dishonest about other people, and as a result, it has been more difficult for Sister Wives regular viewers to relate to her. Viewers of Sister Wives have frequently had a negative impression of Robyn and her interests, but as she has persisted in refusing to be honest, it has become increasingly evident that she is a little worse than what people believe. Instead of believing that she can try to air her character on Sister Wives, Robyn frequently gives the impression that she only wants to be correct about Kody and their family, failing to share her experiences and let others benefit from her errors. Robyn's reluctance to discuss her own experiences has been somewhat ridiculous, even in the face of tragedy. Robyn revealing her truths and experiences could significantly change how Sister Wives viewers perceive Kody's lone surviving wife, even though it might only be helpful to a certain extent. As Kody has started to be more honest about his experiences and the way he's walked through the years the show's been on, it could be helpful to see Robyn do the same thing. While she's been selectively transparent in the past, Robyn may be able to move the needle on the way fans feel about her if she's honest with them. Sister Wives viewers value the cast's honesty over everything. If Robyn could speak to what's happened that makes her behave in some of the ways she does, or may discuss what has happened to make her feel that she is unable to talk about her struggles, it could be a means for Sister Wives viewers to relate to her. Even though it might not fix the problems Robyn has had with her viewers, if she can trust them with her feelings, it might be a sign of faith and trust going forward. Robyn should feel comfortable trusting the Sister Wives fans after years of being a cast member. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.